So hi everybody, this is going to be the Igneous Rock video part 1. Igneous rocks is formed when molten lava or magma cools and solidifies. The Latin ignis means fire, so igneous rock is why it was chosen to be named that. These are what I like to call the volcano rock. Igneous rocks form from volcanoes. They can form inside Earth, and that's from magma. Remember, the difference between magma and lava is just location. And if they're formed on the surface, they're formed from lava. Now, igneous rocks are caused because of plate movements, which you know are driven by convection currents in the mantle. The result that you get when you melt these is your igneous rocks. Now, igneous rocks come in two types or two flavors, if you want to call them that. They come in intrusive and extrusive, and the difference between those two is where it's made and where it's formed. Remember, we talked about that a little bit in video 1, saying how important it was to know where a rock was formed. So hang tight, Bill Nye is going to teach you for about...
Scientists like to think of 3 types of rock. Now, the first type you might call igneous rock. Igneous rock. Now, igneous comes from the word for fire. You know how you ignite the candle and you have igneous rocks? You know, igneous, ignite, that's from the word for fire. So see how the candle wax drips down the outside of the candle? Well, igneous rocks are often formed when hot lava drips down the outsides of volcanoes, and it cools to form rocks like this granite. See?
Let's get into this a little bit more. So, intrusive igneous rocks, they cool very slowly over time. Here's an example. They are inside the volcanoes, and because they cool very slowly, large crystals can grow, and what we like to call this is coarse grain texture because of how it feels and also because of how it looks. You're actually going to get many different colors. So an example of intrusive igneous rock is granite. Of course, we are known as the granite state. It's the most abundant intrusive igneous rock, and continental crust is made mainly of granite, and so are your mountain ranges. And I don't know if you guys remember, but we used to have the old man in the mountain, and he was made of granite. Now, extrusive, so this is the second kind that you can have of igneous rocks, and here's 2 examples, can cool very quickly on Earth's surface. Crystals don't have a chance to grow much. They are considered fine grain texture. That means it's usually 1 color or 2 at the most. And you'll actually get to see, I don't know if you can see on here, but you actually see the holes where bubbles were forming. So an example of this is basalt, and I was just showing you one like this. It forms from the Earth's crust, usually oceanic. It's from a specific type of volcano called a shield volcano. There's actually many different types, and they actually make up lava plateaus as well. So let's talk about minerals in igneous rock. Now remember, minerals and rocks are not the same thing. Remember, minerals make up rocks. And ones you're going to find in igneous rocks, so whether it be this one or this one, is going to be quartz, feldspar, mica, biotite, and hornblende. And those are just the names of the minerals. Now, where are you going to use these igneous rocks? Well, you're going to use them in tools. We use them in pumice, so ladies or gentlemen, if you've ever scrubbed your feet with that kind of very light, hard stone, that's a pumice. Obsidian, this is my favorite one. The Native Americans used it for cutting because you can make it very, very sharp. And if you heat obsidian and grind it, it's actually good for starting seeds. So that might be good for my garden this year to know. Other uses of igneous rock include materials. We use them for buildings and statues and bridges. We as in humans have used granite for about 3,500 years as building materials. The ancient Egyptians like to use granite. And back in the 18 to 1900s, we used to use it to pave streets, and you get things like a cobblestone road that you see here. Describe how igneous rocks are formed. Remember, I said that was super important that you understand how they are formed because that's going to completely show you what they look like. Let's make a quick T-chart and contrast intrusive versus extrusive.